Once you have your resource list set, then you're ready to assign your resources to the tasks in your project. Open up the Project Resources 1A exercise file. We're looking at the Gantt chart view here, and this will be the first way that we will learn how to assign resources to tasks. I want you to select the first real task, which is on line number 3, identifying the target audience. And by selecting that, you open up the task information screen. Make sure that you have the Resources tab highlighted. You then see the resource assignment list. In the black area, click on that cell to view the drop-down menu. And this lists all of the resources that we have put in our resource sheet. If we scroll down through this list, we will find the project manager, who is the resource that I want to assign to this particular task. I select the name of the resource. I click the checkbox to assign the particular resource to that task. And if I wanted to assign additional resources, I would just select the next row and keep on assigning the resources. Once the resource has been assigned, you can adjust the units of the percentage of assignment for that particular resource. You can see here that the default is 100%, but you can adjust that. If that project manager was only working part-time on this particular project, you could assign 50%, for example. Project will assume percentages in this column, so you don't need to type the percentage sign. We're going to talk about the costs associated with these resources in the next series of movies, so we're just going to leave our resource assignment as we see here. Now that we're done, we'll click OK, and you'll notice when we come back onto the Gantt chart, it will identify the resource that we have assigned to that particular task here in my Gantt chart view. Now there's another way that you can assign resources to the tasks. Select the next task in our list. Define the purpose of the site. The mission statement is developed. I select the task. I go up to my toolbar and I select my Assign Resources icon, and it's the two-headed icon on my toolbar there. As you mouse over it, it identifies for you the name of the icon. As I click on that, I have another little dialog box which comes up here, and this allows me to assign numerous resources at once to this particular task. So this is a really easy way. If you have more than one resource that you want to assign to a task, I would recommend you use this assignment method. I select the Project Manager resource from my list, and I click Assign. You'll notice that that particular resource gets moved up to the top of the list. There's a check mark beside the resource name indicating I've selected that particular resource. It defaults to the assignment of 100 units, and the cost would be available to be added in here. As you can see, the name of that assignment is already added to my Gantt chart in behind, and I'm happy with that assignment, so I'm going to click Close. Now, I want to assign that same resource to the next 3 tasks here. So another shortcut you can use is to click your Shift key on your keyboard and drag and select the 3 tasks that you want to work with. Go up to your Assign Resource icon on your toolbar. Select your Project Manager assignment. Click the Assign button. Click Close. And in one set of commands, assign the same resource to all 3 tasks. When you're assigning a material resource, you want to supply the rate at which you're going to use that material resource when you are assigning the resource to the particular task. The material resource that we're going to be assigning in this particular project is our web server, and we're going to select the web hosting company is identified task to assign this particular resource to. I'm going to use my shortcut of going to my Assign Resources list. I'm going to find my resource called Web Server, and I'm going to assign it. There's a little dialog box. That's a nice little thing that comes up. Tells me that I can leave it open even when I'm not using it. So here's an example of how Project has some wizards and some helpful hints that are automatically defaulted to come on to help new users with the application. I'm going to select my web server as my resource and close. A cost resource such as overhead can also be assigned to a summary task in order to track for budgetary purposes. As I click on the Web Development Plan summary task, click Assign Resource, select Overhead from my list, click Assign. I can type right in here the $1,500 worth of overhead that I would need to assign to that particular resource. So here on this Assign Resource list, when you're adding a cost resource, you can add the cost in directly here on this screen. And it's added into your overall planning. Now, when you first assign your resources to the tasks in your project, you have a pretty good idea of where the assignments are going to be made, but things change throughout the life of your project, and we're going to learn how to remove and replace resources in our next movie.